The device in Samantha's hand pulsed with energy as knowledge flowed into her mind. The history of the Viori, their language, their culture all transferred directly into her consciousness. It was overwhelming. Yet somehow her brain adapted. Accepting the information without pain, Lyra watched with interest as Samantha processed the transfer. Her large purple eyes blinked slowly. You are accepting the knowledge well. Most species require more time to adjust. Samantha understood now. The Viori were a predominantly female species. Their civilization was millions of years older than humanity. They had mastered space travel, medicine, and energy manipulation long before humans discovered fire. Their society was built on harmony and collective knowledge, with each individual connected to a shared consciousness while maintaining their unique identity. The males of their species had been decimated by a genetic disease that appeared 500 years ago. Each generation, fewer males were born, and those that survived were weak. Their scientists had searched the galaxy for compatible DNA to help restore balance to their species. Humans are remarkably similar to us genetically, Lyra explained, showing Samantha their medical bay where dozens of Viori lay in stasis pods suffering from the genetic deterioration. Our scientists believe human DNA combined with ours could create a cure. But we need willing participants. We need trust between our worlds. Samantha saw images of what the Viori offered. In return, advanced technology that could eliminate disease, poverty, and environmental destruction. Knowledge that would advance human civilization by centuries. A place among the stars as equals, not as subjects or specimens. Why me? Samantha asked, though she was beginning to understand. We have observed your species for generations, Lyra replied. Your curiosity, your resilience, your capacity for growth, despite your violent tendencies. You, Samantha Ellis, represent the best qualities of humanity. Your mind was open to us. Your heart is compassionate, you seek understanding, not conquest. The ship hummed around them as Lyra guided Samantha through various chambers, each more wondrous than the last. In one room, plants from 1,000 worlds grew, in harmony, creating a living ecosystem. In another, Viori scientists worked with materials that seemed to defy physics, changing properties at a thought. You will be our ambassador, Lyra explained. You will help your people understand our intentions. You will help select compatible volunteers for our genetic program. The weight of responsibility settled on Samantha's shoulders. Could she truly speak for all humanity? What if she made the wrong choice? What if, despite their apparent benevolence, the Viori had ulterior motives? But the knowledge transferred to her mind contained no deception, no hidden agenda, only genuine need and hope. I will help you, Samantha decided. But I have conditions. No one will be forced. All donors must volunteer, and Earth governments must agree. Lyra nodded in agreement. We expected nothing less from you. This is why you were chosen. After what seemed like hours, learning about the Viori, Samantha was returned to Earth. The blue light deposited her gently on the same field where she had been taken. General Walsh and her team approached cautiously, weapons ready. They lowered their guns when they saw Samantha was unharmed. What happened? The general demanded. Did they hurt you? Samantha shook her head, feeling strangely calm. Despite everything, they need our help, and they're offering to help us in return. She held up the small device Lyra had given her. This contains information about their civilization, their technology, and their proposal. The following days passed in a whirlwind of debriefings, security meetings, and arguments between world leaders. The United Nations convened an emergency session as governments around the world reacted with a mixture of fear, suspicion, and hope. Some nations wanted to shoot down the Viori ship. Others wanted to steal their technology. Many religious groups declared the aliens either saviors or demons. The world teetered on the edge of chaos as humanity faced its first confirmed contact with intelligent alien life. Through it all, Samantha worked tirelessly explaining what she had learned. The Viori patiently waited in orbit, sending no further messages, allowing humans time to process and decide. At the United Nations emergency session, Samantha stood before world leaders, scientists, military officials, and religious representatives filled the chamber. All eyes were on her as she prepared to present the Viori proposal. They could destroy us in seconds if they wanted to. Samantha began. Instead, they ask for our help and offer gifts beyond imagination. Murmurs filled the room as she continued explaining the genetic crisis facing the Viori and their offer of technological exchange. How do we know this isn't a trick? How do we know they won't turn on us once they get what they want? General Walsh challenged, her voice cutting through the chamber. A valid concern, Samantha acknowledged. Which is why I've asked Lyra to demonstrate their intentions. The room fell silent as the doors opened, and Lyra entered, flanked by two Viori scientists. Their tall, slender forms and silvery skin caused gasps and whispers throughout the assembly. They moved with otherworldly grace, seemingly unaffected by Earth's gravity. We understand your fears, Lyra addressed the assembly. Her thoughts projected so all could hear them. We too approach this encounter with caution. Our history contains stories of species who destroyed rather than created. We have learned to be careful, but we have also learned that without trust there can be no progress. One of the Viori scientists stepped forward carrying a small container. We offer this as the first gift, she said, her voice melodic, even in their shared mental communication. From this Earth, scientists can create energy, sources that produce no pollution. The other scientist approached a child who had been brought to the session, a young girl with terminal cancer chosen to represent the suffering the Viori technology could alleviate. With the parents' permission, the scientist placed her hand over the child's head. A soft blue glow emanated from her palm. Medical scans confirmed it immediately. The cancer was gone, completely erased from the child's body. The room erupted in commotion. Some delegates cheered, others remained suspicious, but no one could deny the power of what they had just witnessed. General Walsh approached cautiously. We thank you for this demonstration, but trust must be earned. We would need assurances beyond this single act. We will share our knowledge first. Lyra promised you will verify our intentions before any exchange begins. We ask only for willing participation. We force nothing. Discussions continued for days. As world leaders debated, Samantha worked closely with Lyra, creating a framework for cooperation. The Viori shared medical technology, first curing diseases thought incurable. Their engineers helped build clean energy systems. Their scientists shared knowledge that would advance human technology by centuries. In exchange, volunteer programs were established. Thousands of humans offered to help the Viori. Their genetic material carefully collected and combined with Viori DNA to create a cure for the alien disease. The process harmed no one and benefited both species. Not everyone approved. Some protested, claiming humanity was being manipulated or exploited. Small extremist groups attempted attacks on Viori representatives, but their advanced defensive technology prevented any harm. 6 months after first contact, Viori ships became a common sight in Earth's skies. A cultural exchange program allowed humans to visit the Viori mothership, learning about alien culture, technology, and history. Some humans chose to travel further, visiting Viori colonies on distant worlds. Samantha found herself at the center of this new era, serving as the primary human ambassador to the Viori. She spent equal time on Earth and aboard the Viori ships. Her understanding of their language and culture made her invaluable to both sides. One evening, aboard the mothership, Samantha stood on the observation deck looking down at Earth. The blue planet glowed against the blackness of space, appearing both fragile and precious from this distance. Lyra joined her, their forms reflected in the transparent material of the viewpoint, their silhouettes side by side, one human, one Viori, yet somehow complementary. Your people have exceeded our expectations, Lyra said, her thoughts warm in Samantha's mind. The genetic cure is progressing well. Our scientists predict success within 1 Earth year. I'm glad, Samantha replied. But I sense there's more you want to discuss. Lyra turned her purple eyes, studying Samantha's face. There is. We believe you are ready for the next phase of our relationship. There are others in the galaxy. Beings both benevolent and dangerous. Earth must be prepared. Samantha felt a chill despite the comfortable temperature of the ship. What do you mean? What dangers? The stars hold many wonders, Lyra explained, but also many threats. Some civilizations conquer rather than collaborate. Some would see Earth as nothing more than resources to exploit. The Viori have protected your world for centuries, deflecting attention. But now that humans have stepped onto the galactic stage, you must learn to protect yourselves. We want to offer defensive technology, Lyra continued, and membership in the Galactic Coalition, a union of peaceful species who support and defend one another. Samantha stared out at the stars, no longer seeing just points of light but potential worlds filled with unknown life, both wondrous and terrifying. She realized humanity's first contact with aliens was just the beginning of a much larger story. Are we ready for this? Samantha asked, not expecting an answer. 1 year after first contact, Earth had changed in ways no one could have predicted. Viori technology transformed human society. Clean energy replaced fossil fuels. Medical advances eliminated diseases thought incurable. Food production soared, ending hunger in many regions. Global communication systems linked all nations, creating unprecedented cooperation. But not everyone welcomed these changes. A movement called Earth first gained followers across the planet. They viewed the Viori as invaders, despite all evidence to the contrary. They spread fear, claiming the aliens would eventually enslave humanity. Samantha faced these challenges daily. As Earth's primary ambassador to the Viori, she balanced diplomatic duties with public education efforts. Today she stood before the United Nations Security Council, presenting the next phase of cooperation. The Galactic Coalition has extended formal membership to Earth, she explained, showing holographic images of the 17 species that formed the Alliance. This offers us protection technology and trade opportunities beyond anything we've imagined. Representatives from various nations asked pointed questions, some supportive, others skeptical. The Russian delegate leaned forward. How do we know this coalition truly has our interests at heart, he asked. What do they gain from our membership? A fair question, Samantha acknowledged. The coalition operates on principles of mutual benefit and growth. Different species contribute different strengths. Humans offer creativity, adaptability, and a unique perspective. Earth itself provides biodiversity and cultural richness valuable to any advanced civilization. The Chinese representative spoke next. What protections do we receive exactly? Defensive technology, early warning systems, and military support if needed, Samantha explained. But more importantly, knowledge. Knowledge is the true currency of advanced civilizations. As the meeting continued, Samantha noticed General Walsh watching from the back of the chamber. The general had been both ally and adversary throughout the transition. Initially skeptical, she now worked closely with the Viori military exchange program, though her expression often revealed lingering doubts. After the session concluded, General Walsh approached Samantha. A word in private, she requested. They walked to a secure room where Walsh activated electronic countermeasures, ensuring their conversation remained private. I received troubling intelligence, the general began. Earth first extremists have acquired advanced weapons, possibly from off-world sources. We believe they're planning an attack on the main Viori medical facility in Geneva. Samantha felt cold fear grip her stomach. How is that possible? All technology transfers are strictly monitored. Someone is helping them. Walsh stated, someone who doesn't want this alliance to succeed. Could it be another alien species? Samantha wondered, remembering Lyra's warning about hostile civilizations. Possibly, Walsh agreed, or humans with access to alien tech. Either way, we need to act quickly. I've already alerted Viori security, but I wanted you to know personally. Samantha thanked the general for the warning. She needed to speak with Lyra immediately. The Viori commander would know how to handle this threat aboard the mothership. Lyra received the news with characteristic calm, though Samantha noted subtle changes in her aura. The Viori exhibited emotional states through slight color variations in their silvery skin, visible only to those who knew what to look for. We have suspected interference for some time. Lyra admitted. The coalition has enemies, species who prefer isolation and fear to cooperation. They would see Earth remain vulnerable. What can we do, Samantha Asked Lyra gestured and a holographic display appeared showing Earth and the surrounding space. Several points of light appeared in distant orbit observation vessels, she explained. Not of any coalition species they watch and wait can we confront? Them, Samantha asked. Not yet, Lyra replied. First we must secure the medical facility and capture these human extremists. They may lead us to their off-world contacts. Within hours, a joint human Viori security team deployed to Geneva. Their mission to protect the facility and apprehend the terrorists. Samantha insisted on joining despite Lyra's concerns. The medical center was one of the first Viori establishments on Earth, a beautiful structure of flowing architecture that seemed to merge with the surrounding landscape. Inside, human and Viori doctors worked together, treating patients with conditions once considered hopeless. Security was tightened. Guards at every entrance, shields activated around sensitive areas. Samantha walked through the main atrium, amazed as always by the harmony of human and alien technology. The place hummed with healing energy. The attack came at midnight. Explosions at the north entrance. A dozen masked figures rushed in, firing advanced energy weapons. Human guards fell instantly, but the Viori security personnel activated personal shields absorbing the blasts. Samantha watched from the command center as the battle unfolded on security feeds. The terrorists moved with military precision, clearly trained and well-equipped. This was no amateur operation. General Walsh coordinated the response, her voice steady as she directed forces to contain the threat. But something felt wrong to Samantha. The attackers seemed to know exactly where the security points, where they bypassed locked doors with ease as if they had inside information. A figure broke away from the main group, heading toward the central laboratory, where the genetic cure was being developed. Samantha realized with horror that this was their true target. Not to harm people, but to destroy the cure. Without thinking, she left the command center, running toward the laboratory. She knew the facility better than anyone. The service corridors would allow her to reach the lab first. She had to stop them. The hallway stretched before her, eerily empty. Everyone evacuated to safe zones. She rounded the corner and froze, coming face to face with the lead attacker, a woman in black tactical gear, her face covered by a mask but her eyes visible. Cold, determined eyes. Samantha raised her hands. Stop, she called out. Why are you doing this? The Viori are helping humanity. The woman raised her weapon. You know nothing, she spat. These aliens aren't saviors. They're farmers, and we're the cattle. Samantha shook her head. That's not true. I've seen their world, their society. They genuinely want to help us. The woman laughed, harsh and bitter. They showed you what they wanted you to see. The perfect ambassador, so eager to believe, so desperate to matter. You never questioned why they chose you. Doubt flickered through Samantha's mind, but she pushed it away. I've spent a year with them, lived among them. There is no deception. You're a fool. The woman snarled, or worse, a traitor. She raised her weapon, preparing to fire. A flash of silver. Lyra appeared seemingly from nowhere, her tall form blurring with speed. The Viori commander knocked the weapon aside with impossible strength. Her purple eyes glowed with intensity as she faced the attacker. You will not harm her. Lyra's mental voice projected so strongly, even the human attacker flinched. Security forces surrounded them, both human and Viori. The woman realized she was trapped. She reached for something at her belt. A dead man's switch. Everyone froze. Though, implication clear. If she released the button, something terrible would happen. I have bombs planted throughout the facility, the woman said coldly. Let me go, or everyone dies. Samantha looked at Lyra, seeing the Viori commander calculate possibilities, but there was something else in those alien eyes. Something Samantha had never seen before. Fear. You are being used. Lyra spoke directly to the attacker's mind. Those who supplied your weapons, your information, they do not care about Earth's freedom. They want only to prevent the coalition from growing stronger. The woman hesitated, confusion flickering across her visible features. How would you know? Because we have faced them before. Lyra explained the Harvengars. They destroy alliances, sow discord, then pick off isolated worlds one by one. They have done this for millennia. Samantha stepped forward slowly. Please, she said, let us show you the truth. Not what I believe, or what you believe, but actual evidence. The Viori record everything. Their history, their interactions with other species including Earth. Let me show you. For a tense moment, no one moved. Then slowly the woman lowered her hand with the detonator. I want to see everything, she demanded. No edited versions. No lies, I promise, Samantha, said, relief flooding through her. The crisis was averted. The woman named Heather Mason had been a decorated military officer before joining Earth First. Her technical expertise had made her valuable to the extremist group. She wasn't the leader, but she knew who was. And more importantly, she knew about their off-world contact in a secure room deep beneath the Geneva facility. Heather watched historical records spanning centuries, Viori interactions with dozens of species, their first discovery of Earth, their debates about when to make contact, their efforts to shield the planet from hostile forces. Most damning was footage of Harvengar ships attacking peaceful worlds, civilizations that refused coalition membership, left vulnerable, and eventually conquered or destroyed. It's all true. Heather whispered, her worldview crumbling. How did they contact Earth First? Through dreams. At first, Samantha explained, then technology disguised as human innovation. They find those with influence and fear. They nurture that fear until it becomes weaponized over the next days. Heather provided intelligence that led to the arrest of Earth First leaders and the discovery of hidden Harvengar technology, communication devices, weapons, even small ships, designed to look like experimental human craft. The Harvengar threat was exposed but not eliminated. Their ships remained in distant orbit, watching a confrontation seemed inevitable. The Harvengar ships retreated when confronted by the combined coalition fleet. Their stealth technology impressive, but not enough to hide from advanced Viori sensors. They slipped away into deep space, leaving behind only ominous silence. 2 years had passed since first contact. Earth now stood as a full member of the Galactic Coalition. Viori technology had transformed human society. Cities gleamed with clean energy, advanced medicine, extended lifespans, transportation systems, linked continents, in hours rather than days. Samantha had grown accustomed to her role as ambassador, dividing her time between Earth and various coalition worlds. She had visited 12 alien civilizations, learning their customs and sharing human culture. She had addressed the Coalition Council, becoming a respected voice for her species. But the absence of Harvengar activity troubled her. They had retreated too easily. Their history showed them to be persistent, calculating enemies. This silence felt like the calm before a storm. Lyra shared these concerns. On this day, they met in the Earth Embassy aboard the Coalition headquarters, a massive space station orbiting a neutral star system. The embassy reflected human architectural styles, blending classical columns with modern glass and steel artwork from Earth adorned the walls. Reminders of home. Something has changed, Lyra stated, her silver skin catching the artificial light. They are gathering forces in the Cygnus sector. Our scouts report unusual activity. Samantha frowned, studying the star maps projected between them. The Harvengars normally operate alone, she noted. They avoid alliances, seeing other species as either threats or prey. Precisely, Lyra agreed. This suggests either a new strategy, or they have found something that compels cooperation. The door chimed, interrupting their discussion. A Viori aide entered with urgent news. Coalition scientists monitoring deep space signals had detected an unusual energy signature, massive and unlike anything in their records. It originated from the edge of charted space in a region avoided by Coalition vessels. The energy pattern is similar to theoretical models of space-time manipulation. Lyra explained, her expression grave beyond anything Samantha had seen before. What does that mean? Samantha asked, though she feared the answer. It means, Lyra replied, someone or something is attempting to create a gateway, a doorway between distant points in space, or perhaps between dimensions. The Coalition Council, Convened immediately, representatives from all 18 member species gathered in the Great Circular Chamber. The evidence presented was troubling energy readings growing stronger, strange gravitational anomalies, ships disappearing near the affected region. The Tlaxi ambassador, a crystalline being who communicated through light patterns, expressed what many felt. This bears the hallmarks of the ancients' technology lost for millennia. Samantha had heard rumors of the ancients, a mysterious civilization that predated all known species. Their technology was said to approach magic, their motivations incomprehensible. They had vanished, leaving only fragments of their achievements scattered across galaxies. Could the Harvengars have discovered ancient technology? Samantha asked. It would explain their newfound cooperation. The Myrex representative replied, a squat amphibian creature with multifaceted eyes. They seek power beyond their understanding. A decision was reached. A coalition fleet would investigate. The anomaly Lyra would command, with representatives from each species aboard, including Samantha. Earth's military insisted on sending their own vessel as well. The USS Intrepid, Earth's first FTL-capable warship, would join the mission. General Patricia Walsh, now Admiral, commanded the Intrepid. Her skepticism had evolved into cautious respect for the coalition, though she maintained a healthy wariness. In the 3 years since first contact, she had worked closely with Samantha and the Viori, becoming Earth's foremost expert on extraterrestrial military tactics. The fleet departed 2 days later, 5 coalition vessels plus Earth's contribution. They traveled through FTL corridors, pathways through space-time that allowed faster-than-light travel. Samantha marveled at the technology still new to humans. The journey would take 2 weeks to reach the edge of charted space aboard Lyra's command ship, the Stellar Horizon. Samantha found herself spending more time with the Viori commander. Their relationship had evolved beyond professional cooperation. There was a deeper understanding, a connection that transcended species. Lyra showed Samantha her private meditation chamber, a room designed to resemble the Viori homeworld with its silver forests and purple skies. Here, she explained, I find clarity when decisions weigh heavily. The chamber felt alive with energy. Plants from the Viori world grew along the walls, their leaves shimmering with bioluminescence. A small pool reflected the artificial sky. The atmosphere was different, thicker, with a sweet scent that made Samantha feel strangely alert, yet peaceful. You are troubled, Lyra observed. Samantha nodded, not bothering to hide her emotions from the perceptive alien. This mission feels different, more dangerous. She hesitated, then added, and I'm concerned about what happens after. Whatever we find could change everything. Lyra moved closer, her tall form graceful in the low gravity. The future always remains unwritten, she said. That is true for all species. But I have observed humans closely. You adapt, you persist. These qualities will serve you well in the times ahead. Their conversation was interrupted by an alert. The fleet was approaching the anomaly zone. They would exit FTL travel in 1 hour. On the bridge, Samantha stood beside Lyra as the ship's view screen showed the swirling colors of FTL space. Around them, coalition officers worked at their stations. Each species adapted to their role. Some communicated through thought, others through gesture. All united in purpose. The transition to normal space came with a subtle shift in gravity, a momentary disorientation. Then the view screen cleared, showing the blackness of space dotted with stars. But directly ahead, something else waited. A massive structure hung against the void, its surface black as night, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. The shape defied easy description. Geometric yet organic, with angles that seemed to shift when viewed too long. It dwarfed the coalition vessels, making them appear insignificant by comparison. Around the structure, Harvengar ships patrolled, dozens of them, far more than ever seen together. They had not yet detected the coalition fleet thanks to advanced stealth. System scanners indicate the structure is partially phased into another dimension, the science officer reported. The energy signature is growing stronger. They appear to be activating it. Samantha felt cold, fear settle in her stomach. The scale of the structure, the obvious power it contained. This was beyond anything the Coalition had encountered. This was truly ancient technology, a transmission from the intrepid Admiral. Walsh's face appeared on a secondary screen. "We're detecting unusual radiation patterns," she reported. "Our scientists believe the Harvengars are attempting to create a stable wormhole. The power requirements are astronomical, but why?" Samantha wondered what lies on the other side. The answer came moments later, as sensors detected a new signal emanating from beyond the structure. A communication not from the Harvengars but from something else. Something waiting on the other side of whatever doorway they were opening. Coalition linguists worked frantically to decode the signal. It contained no recognizable patterns, no mathematical sequences, only a sense of vast alien intelligence, utterly foreign to known species. "We should destroy the structure," Lyra decided before they complete the activation. "We cannot risk whatever waits beyond." The Coalition fleet moved forward, weapons charged, but they were outnumbered by Harvengar vessels. The element of surprise would not last long. What followed was chaos. The Coalition ships struck first, targeting the structure. Rather than the enemy vessels, beams of concentrated energy lanced across space. But the structure absorbed the attacks without damage. The Harvengars responded with overwhelming force. Their ships converging on the Coalition fleet, Admiral Walsh proved her tactical genius maneuvering the Intrepid through enemy formations. The Earth vessel was smaller, more agile than its alien counterparts, its human crew fighting with desperate courage. Samantha watched from the command center as battles raged across multiple fronts. The Coalition ships fought well, but they were outnumbered. The structure continued its activation sequence, pulsing with energy. Each pulse stronger than the last. Then something unexpected. The structure began to change parts, shifting, reconfiguring themselves. A section opened, revealing a swirling vortex of energy. Not the controlled wormhole the Harvengars intended, but something wilder, more chaotic. The Harvengars had lost control. A massive surge of energy erupted from the vortex, tendrils of blue lightning striking Harvengar ships. The vessels closest to the structure were pulled in, vanishing into the swirling chaos. Others broke formation. Fleeing Admiral Walsh's voice cut through the confusion. "That thing's becoming. Unstable energy readings are off the charts. We need to retreat now." But retreat was impossible. The vortex expanded its gravitational pull. Strengthening Coalition and Harvengar ships alike struggled against the inexorable force. Lyra made a decision. "We must close it," she announced. "The stellar horizon carries experimental phase disruptors. If we can disrupt the dimensional boundaries, the vortex should collapse." "The risk," Samantha started, "is necessary." Lyra finished, her purple eyes meeting Samantha's. "The stellar horizon will approach the vortex and deploy the disruptors." 6 months had passed since the battle at the edge of charted space. The Coalition mourned its losses. Ceremonies held on 18 worlds, honoring those who gave their lives. Earth built a memorial in Geneva, a towering spire of Viore crystal that caught the light in ways that seemed alive. Samantha visited, often standing beneath it, remembering Lyra. Life continued. The Coalition strengthened its defenses. New ships were built. Advanced warning systems deployed. The Harvengars remained elusive, licking their wounds, planning their next move. The mysterious structure and vortex were studied from the data gathered, though much remained unknown. Samantha threw herself into her work, becoming Earth's senior ambassador to the Coalition. Her experiences, her knowledge of alien cultures made her invaluable. But inside she felt hollow. Her connection with Lyra had been more than professional, more than friendship. Though never spoken, something deeper had grown between them. Now that possibility was gone forever. Or so she believed. The dreams began 3 months after the battle. Vivid, intense dreams of silver forests and purple skies, of Lyra standing beneath twin moons, her form shimmering with inner light. In the dreams, she spoke words. Samantha couldn't quite remember upon waking coordinates patterns equations. At first, Samantha dismissed them as grief manifesting in her subconscious. But the dreams persisted, growing stronger, more detailed. She began recording them, writing down everything. She could remember upon waking patterns emerged, mathematical sequences, star positions. She took her findings to Admiral Walsh, now head of Earth's Extraterrestrial Defense Force. The Admiral listened skeptically but agreed to have scientists analyze the data. The results were shocking. The coordinates formed a coherent navigational path to a system on the far side of the galaxy, a place no coalition ship had ever visited. The equations described energy patterns consistent with ancient technology. Could be a trap. Walsh warned, her face lined with concern. The Harvengars could be implanting these dreams somehow. Samantha shook her head. It's Lyra, she insisted. I don't know how, but she's alive. She's trying to reach me. Walsh remained unconvinced, but she couldn't ignore the precision of the data. This wasn't random dream imagery. This was specific technical information beyond what Samantha could have invented. After much debate, a mission was approved. A single ship would follow the coordinates. The newest Earth vessel, the Explorer, equipped with the best coalition technology, would make the journey. Samantha would accompany the mission, along with scientists from various coalition species. The Explorer could accommodate 70 crew for extended deep space. Travel Captain Olivia Rodriguez commanded the ship, a veteran of Earth's space program and graduate of the Coalition Flight Academy. She had proven herself in numerous missions. Her dark eyes missed nothing, her decisions quick and sure. The journey would take 3 months even with the most advanced FTL drives. The coordinates led to a star on the edge of a massive nebula, a region rich with radiation and cosmic dust, making long-range scans impossible. They would be flying blind before departure. Samantha visited the Coalition headquarters, meeting with the Council. Some representatives expressed concern. This could be a wild goose chase or worse, a Harvengar trap. Others believed the ancient technology might have preserved Lyra and her crew in some way. The science was theoretical, but the ancients had achieved feats thought impossible. The Talaxi ambassador, crystal facets glowing softly, offered Samantha a small device. Our people have studied the ancients longer than most, he explained. This scanner might detect energy signatures our standard equipment would miss. The Explorer departed Earth orbit on a clear spring morning. Families, friends, and officials gathered to watch the sleek vessel rise into the blue sky. Samantha stood at the observation window, watching her home planet shrink to a blue marble, then a distant point of light. The ship entered FTL space, the familiar swirl of colors enveloping them. Captain Rodriguez set a course following Samantha's dream coordinates. The crew, a mixture of humans and coalition species, settled into their routines. Scientists analyzed the dream data. Medical officers monitored Samantha's sleep, hoping to capture more information. The dreams continued but changed. Instead of forests and moons, Samantha now saw strange landscapes, crystalline structures rising from barren ground, skies filled with aurora like energy birds or creatures resembling birds with glowing wings, and always Lyra walking ahead, just out of reach. 2 months into the journey, they received a transmission from Coalition headquarters. Harvengar activity detected near the nebula. They appeared to be searching for something, their ships following a pattern similar to the coordinates from Samantha's dreams. The discovery confirmed both hopes and fears. If the Harvengars sought the same destination, then something of value waited there. Perhaps Lyra lived, but it also meant danger. The Explorer might arrive to find enemies waiting. Captain Rodriguez increased security. Training drills ran daily. Weapon systems were checked and rechecked. The Explorer was primarily a scientific vessel, but it carried defensive capabilities. The crew prepared for all possibilities. As they approached the coordinates, the FTL drive was disengaged. The Explorer emerged in normal space at the edge of the nebula before them, a magnificent sight. Gas clouds in purple and blue stretched across the view screen. Stars glittered within the cosmic fog. Radiation readings were high but within safe parameters. According to the coordinates, their destination lay within. The nebula sensors detected a small planetary body orbiting a dying star. The planet itself, unusual, its composition defying standard classification. Part solid matter, part energy. Captain Rodriguez ordered a cautious approach. Shields at maximum, all sensors active. The ship moved slowly through the nebula, energy interference growing stronger, communications becoming unreliable. They reached the planet after 18 hours of careful navigation. It hung before them unlike any world Samantha had seen. The surface seemed to shift between states, solid one moment, transparent the next. Colors flowed across continents like living paint mountains, appeared and disappeared as if the entire planet breathed. No Harvangar ships detected, the tactical officer reported, but the nebula could hide an entire fleet. Our sensors are compromised. Land or retreat. Captain Rodriguez faced the decision. Every Commander Dread's proceeding could mean discovery or disaster. Retreating meant abandoning any chance of finding Lyra. Samantha stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the strange planet. The dreams had led her here. She felt certain Lyra waited below, somehow preserved by ancient technology. "I'll take a shuttle," she offered. "We can't risk the entire ship." Captain Rodriguez considered the proposal, risky, but sensible. A small team could investigate while the explorer remained at a safe distance, ready to retrieve them or depart if threats appeared. The shuttle departed with 5 crew members, Samantha, 2 scientists, and 2 security officers. Their descent through the planet's atmosphere was surprisingly smooth. No turbulence, no resistance. As if the planet welcomed them, they landed on a flat plane of shifting crystal. The surface firm enough to support the shuttle, yet somehow insubstantial, like walking on solidified light. The air, if it could be called that, was breathable, though helmets were worn as precaution. Samantha stepped onto the crystalline surface and felt immediate recognition. This was the landscape from her dreams. The structures in the distance, the glowing sky, even the bird-like creatures soaring overhead. She had been here before, or had seen it through someone else's eyes. The scanner given by the Tlaxi ambassador activated automatically, lights blinking in complex patterns. It pointed toward a massive structure at the horizon, a building or perhaps a natural formation of crystal spires reaching toward the sky. The team moved cautiously across the strange landscape, their boots leaving no footprints, the surface returning to pristine condition after each step. The scanner led them onward, its signals growing stronger. The journey took hours, the crystalline structure never seeming to get closer. Yet somehow they arrived standing before towering spires that reached hundreds of meters high. The entire structure pulsed with energy. Doorways opened and closed randomly throughout its surface. The scanner indicated an entrance near the base, a portal large enough for them to pass through. Inside corridors stretched in impossible directions, some leading up, some down, some seemingly through dimensions. The laws of physics felt optional here. Following the scanner, they navigated the labyrinth. The security officers kept weapons ready, though what good conventional weapons would do in this place remained questionable. The scientists recorded everything, their expressions mixing wonder and fear. At the heart of the structure, they found a chamber vast beyond comprehension, the ceiling lost in darkness, the floor a pool of liquid light. Platforms of crystal floated above the pool, connected by bridges that appeared when approached, and on the central platform a figure waited, silver skin catching the ambient light, purple eyes watching their approach. Lyra. Samantha rushed forward, ignoring safety protocols. She crossed a bridge that formed beneath. Her feet reached the platform and stopped a few meters from the Viori commander, uncertainty suddenly gripping her. Was this really Lyra? Or something else? Something wearing her form. "I knew you would come." Lyra spoke, her voice both in Samantha's mind and in the air around them. "You followed the path I created." Samantha Ellis rubbed her tired eyes as she stared at the strange symbols dancing across her computer screen. The alien transmission had been broadcasting for 3 days now. Each pattern seemed to shimmer with meaning just beyond her understanding. As the lead linguist at the Astral Communications Research Center, she had decoded many strange signals, but nothing like this. Her small office was littered with empty coffee cups and hastily scribbled notes. The clock showed 3 in the morning, but sleep was the furthest thing from her mind. While her colleagues dismissed the signal as random space noise, Samantha felt something deep in her bones. This was different. This was intelligent. The pattern repeated every 12 minutes and 37 seconds, exactly too precise to be natural. She had mapped each symbol, creating a basic visual dictionary, but the meaning remained elusive. Her computer ran comparison algorithms matching the patterns against every known language on Earth. Nothing matched. Samantha stood and stretched her back, cramped from hours hunched over her desk. She walked to the window, looking up at the clear night sky. Somewhere out there, someone or something was trying to communicate. The thought both thrilled and terrified her as dawn broke over the desert landscape surrounding the research facility. Samantha noticed something she had missed: a mathematical sequence hidden within the pattern. The symbols weren't just letters, they were numbers. And not just any numbers. They were coordinates. Her hands trembled as she plotted them on the star map. The coordinates pointed to a location just beyond Mars' orbit. Her heart raced as she picked up the phone to call her supervisor, Director Morgan. Before she could dial, security alarms blared throughout the facility. Red lights flashed in the hallway. Through her window, Samantha saw black government vehicles speeding toward the main entrance. Men in dark suits poured from the cars, moving with urgent purpose. Director Morgan burst into her office, her face pale. "What did you find?" she demanded. "Coordinates," Samantha replied. "They're sending coordinates." The door opened again as two men entered without knocking. "We'll take it from here," Director One said. Flashing credentials, Samantha recognized the insignia National Security Agency. They were already here, which meant they knew about the transmission long before her team did. "Everything is being confiscated," the agent stated. "All your research, all data and all personnel are now under government jurisdiction. You'll be debriefed separately." Samantha watched in shock as they disconnected her computers. She had spent 3 days decoding those signals. She had made the breakthrough, but she had also memorized the key patterns. Something told her to keep this information to herself. 3 months passed. Samantha had been relocated to a secure government facility in Arizona, continuing her work under close supervision. She learned the signal, had stopped the day after the government took over. But she kept working on the fragments she had memorized, expanding her understanding of the alien language. Then one night, the sky lit up with strange blue lights. Samantha was awakened by military personnel pounding on her door. "Get dressed," they ordered. "We're evacuating." Through her window, she saw a massive ship hovering above the small town. Military vehicles swarmed the streets. People were being loaded onto buses. Chaos reigned. The soldier grabbed her arm. "We have orders to bring you to the command center. General Walsh wants you specifically." Outside, the air hummed with energy. Samantha felt the hairs on her arms stand up. The massive ship was unlike anything human technology could create: smooth, silvery metal curved in impossible ways with no visible seams or joints. It hovered silently above them, defying physics. At the command center, General Patricia Walsh stood surrounded by officers and government officials, their faces tense with fear and uncertainty. The surveillance screens showed the alien ship from multiple angles. They sent another transmission. General Walsh said, turning to Samantha, "Same pattern as before. It seems they know you decoded their first message." Samantha felt all eyes turn to her. The weight of humanity seemed to rest on her shoulders. The general handed her a tablet displaying the new message. "Can you understand it?" Samantha studied the symbols, recognizing the patterns she had spent months decoding. The message was clear. They wanted to speak with the one who understood their language. They wanted her. She swallowed hard, nodding slowly. "I understand it. They want to meet me." The room erupted in argument. Some officials wanted to refuse, others suggested sending a military team instead. General Walsh silenced them with a raised hand. The aliens had technology far beyond Earth's capabilities. Refusing could be disastrous. "We need to know their intentions," Walsh said, turning to Samantha. "Would you be willing to make contact?" Before Samantha could answer, a blue light engulfed the command center. All electronics failed simultaneously. A voice seemed to speak directly into everyone's mind. "We come in peace. Send the one who understands." The blue light faded, leaving the room in stunned silence. The message was heard by everyone present, confirming what Samantha had been saying for months. These beings had technology and abilities far beyond human understanding. "I'll do it," Samantha said, her voice stronger than she expected. "I'll make contact." Within hours, a plan was created. Samantha would approach the ship in an open field with military support nearby. But everyone knew if the aliens wanted to, they could take her regardless of protection. As Samantha walked across the field, her heart pounded in her chest. The massive ship hummed above her, casting everything in blue light. Each step felt momentous, like humanity's first steps on the moon. She was crossing a threshold from which there would be no return. The air around her began to shimmer. A column of light descended from the ship, enveloping her completely. She felt weightless, her feet lifting from the ground. The soldiers raised their weapons, but General Walsh ordered them to hold fire. They could only watch as Samantha Ellis was drawn upward into the alien vessel, inside the ship. The light faded, and Samantha found herself in a large circular chamber. The walls seemed to glow with an inner light. There were no sharp edges. Everything flowed in organic curves. A doorway appeared where moments before there had been only seamless wall. 3 figures entered the chamber, moving with fluid grace. They were tall, at least 7 feet, with slender bodies and silvery skin. Their large almond-shaped eyes were deep purple with no visible pupils. Their faces were humanoid, but with subtle differences that marked them as undeniably alien. The one in the center stepped forward. Her silvery hair seemed to float around her head, as if underwater, though there was no breeze. "You understood our message. The first human to do so. You are the one we seek." She spoke directly into Samantha's mind, the words forming with perfect clarity. Samantha found herself able to respond the same way, pushing her thoughts outward. "Who are you? Why have you come to Earth?" The alien introduced herself as Lyra, commander of the exploration vessel. Her people called themselves the Viori, advanced beings from a star system humans had not yet discovered. They had been watching Earth for centuries. "Humans have potential beyond your understanding," Lyra explained. "We have waited for one who could bridge our worlds, one who could understand us. You are that bridge." Samantha Ellis, the other 2 aliens, stepped forward, presenting Samantha with a small device. It glowed with the same blue light as the ship. "This will help you understand us fully," Lyra explained. "It will form a deeper connection between our minds." Samantha hesitated, fear and wonder battling within her. Everything about this encounter would change human history forever. She thought of all the science fiction stories where alien contact went horribly wrong. But she also thought about the possibility of advancement and knowledge. She reached out and took the device. It hummed in her palm, sending gentle vibrations up her arm. "Welcome to the stars," Lyra said as the device activated, and Samantha's understanding expanded beyond anything she had ever imagined.